We're so blessed to have her.
I'm the one that's blessed. The Lord has blessed me abundantly out here. It's just like my little piece of heaven.
Good morning, everybody. This is Terry over at Prairie Mountain, and it's Wednesday morning. And of course, as you know from the last video, this is the day that we cook for about 100 people that come in out here and pray for the things that God is doing for our country. And so we feed them here, and you can see kind of where Elaine does her cooking. But also she's got a recipe for us, and she's going to tell us about that. So I'll knock on the door. Okay. Good morning, Elaine.
Good morning. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. So what's going on this morning?
Well, this morning we're going to make some stuffed peppers.
Okay.
And we've got all the ingredients ready to go, so I'll tell you what I'm doing as I go.
Sure.
All right. We're starting out with hamburger meat, buy whatever kind you like, and we just put it in the pan, and then we're going to season it.
All right.
We're going to, first I did go ahead and put the peppers together over here, and by put them together, I cored them out, each one, took the seeds out, and then I put them in hot boiling water for about 5 minutes, just to get them blanched, is what they call that. That way they cook a little faster, and they're done when your other stuff is done. They're not hard. Then I chopped up an onion for what we're going to make right now. We're doing 18 peppers. So I made about 1 medium-sized onion, and I chopped it up. We've got 6 pounds of hamburger meat here, just to kind of give you an idea of how much this is.
Okay, 6 pounds.
And we put it all together. Then I'm putting corn in this one. That way you have a meat and a vegetable, and everything is all together.
Okay, and the corn's drained, right?
The corn is drained, so there's no liquid going in, it's just corn. And you can use whatever corn you like. Now, I have in the past used creamed corn. It gives it a little different flavor and a little more moisture from that. But I personally like it without.
Okay.
Just the plain corn. Then I'm putting in a can of tomato sauce and 2 cans of diced tomatoes. Now I happen to pick up a garlic and olive oil combination and an Italian combination. They just have a little more seasoning in the tomatoes. You can get just plain diced tomatoes, or you could get stewed tomatoes.
Right.
So or you can chop up your own. I've done that too. So then we've got all that put in. I'm going to put in probably a clove to 2 cloves of garlic, if you wanted to make your own. Now I have it in a bottle already chopped up, so I'm probably going to put 2 pretty good sized spoons in, just so we have that seasoning in it. That with the green peppers or the peppers will give it a good flavor. And then I like to use Italian seasoning. And I don't do a lot of measuring. I just kind of go by what I've got in my pan.
I got you.
Just shake it out until you feel like you got enough in there. You know how your family likes it.
Right.
And I want to put some salt in. Again, just kind of how you do it.
Right.
I'm using kosher salt, which is kind of like a rock salt.
Okay.
If you don't know, because I like the thickness of it. It gives it a little more flavor. And then I'm putting some pepper in. And again, just do till you think. If your family likes pepper, then pepper up. And then I'm going to put in some tomato paste. That gives it a little more stick together.
Okay.
And will help. I am going to put some rice in here in a minute. So all the moisture off your tomatoes, which a lot of people would drain, I don't, because I'm going to use that moisture in the mix to make the rice cook good.
Oh, so that's how you do it. Okay.
Excuse me. I'm going to put in between a cup to 2 cups of rice, just plain rice. I'm not going to cook it first. And then I'm going to mix all this up together with my hands.
Okay.
I'm wearing gloves, and that's part of the reason why. That way I can mix it with my hands and not have to worry about it. When you get this big of a mix going, it's kind of hard to do it with a fork or spoon. So just get in there elbows deep and stir it up. And you can see it all comes together and it makes a good combination.
Okay, so for a review, how much meat did you have in this?
I had 6 pounds.
And how many will that feed?
Well, we're going to put it in 18 peppers over here.
Okay.
And anything I have left, then I put in the bottom of the pan and let it just cook with it. Kind of gives you a little extra meat if you have someone that wants more.
God, that's a good tip.
Then you can serve a pepper per person. It's a full meal that way. You've got your vegetable and your meat all mixed together. You've got a rice in there, so you've actually serving rice and corn and meatloaf.
Oh.
I mean, about the best way to describe.
I can tell it's going to be delicious. And I haven't even tasted one.
Well, again, if you have a flavor that you like, you can add that. A lot of people like the spicier stuff. When I'm cooking for a big group, I don't like to do spicy because everybody can't take it.
Right.
But if your family does, you could even use Rotel tomatoes.
Oh, I would. If it's for me, that's what I'd use.
So there are lots of variations you can do and put in it. Now I put corn in this. You could put peas. You can put green beans for that matter. Just whatever vegetable your family likes is what I would do. Now give me just a minute. I'm going to come out of these gloves and get my peppers over here so we're ready. I like to do the assorted peppers. That way it gives you a pretty table setting when you've got them all set out like that. But you can do all green or you can do all red, whichever color you prefer. They do have a little different flavor, each color. One's a little more bitter, one's a little deeper pepper flavor.
Which ones do you like?
See, I like them all, that's why I pull them off.
Oh, okay.
I like the combination of them together, all of them, when I'm cooking. I usually cut up some of each kind. But in stuffing, if I could only use one or the other, I'd probably use a green pepper for stuffing.
That's what my mom used when we were growing up.
And back in the day, that's kind of all they put out in the markets.
Oh, okay.
Was just green peppers. It's only been in the last maybe 10 years that I've even noticed they have the other colors. Now, I use a scoop just because it keeps me cleaner and easier to measure out how much I'm putting in when I'm cooking for a large group. You can just use a spoon, you can use your hand. And we're going to put just a good amount in each pepper, and you can see I want it to come up to the top so that pepper is full of food. And that's just how simple it is. You're just going to fill each one up until they're all full.
You made that pretty quick.
Yeah, this is a good, once you get it prepped. Now, in all fairness, I had things all ready, and so all we had to do is mix it together. Chopping up the onion and getting all that kind of stuff, opening your cans and stuff will take a little bit longer, but not a whole lot.
Now, when you cook this, what temperature and how long?
I would probably put it on for about 375.
Okay.
I wouldn't go any higher than that. If you're going to cook it longer, you could put it at 350. Now, I like to cook things at 350 and cook them longer, but on a Wednesday when we have prayer going on, I also want to be at prayer, so I try to get it all put together and I cook it a little warmer out here.
So you're going to feed 100 people with not as much time in prep by doing this.
Exactly. And that's why I try to find dishes that we can do like this where it won't take so long to do it, because that way I can get more done in a shorter amount of time.
Right.
I do have a couple of good helpers though.
You do. They're not here today.
Not here today. This is just something you can even prep this in advance. You can do this the night before and put it all in the ice box and pull it out when you got home from work and put it on and have a good meal and be the queen, because everybody will think you just really worked hard this afternoon getting dinner ready after you got home from work and you already had it ready.
Well, that's it. And you don't have to tell anyone.
And a lot of times I use this dish to clean out the ice box. If I have a lot of different vegetables and things left over, I just put it all together and make a dish out of what I have in the ice box and put it into meat and cook it. So there are lots of different things you can do with it. Now you can see I've stuffed 18 peppers here, and I still have a pretty good amount over here in my pan, in my bowl. So now what I'm going to do is put it around the sides of each pepper and cook it down like that. It's kind of like a meatloaf on its own. And if somebody wanted a pepper and some more meat, then they could have that. If not, you've got some hamburger mix to use the next day for sandwiches or whatever.
I hear our dog knocking at the door.
I know.
He smells these, but he can't come in.
Yeah, we have 2 pans in the oven already for the lunch today, and you can smell what's coming out of the oven.
I know, it smells so good in here, guys. But like she said, if you're running short on time, or maybe you got volunteered for something,
yeah,
this is an answer, right?
This is even something, you know, Sunday afternoon, I have this leftover stuff from lunch, and I don't know what to do with it. Well, throw this together and put it in the freezer.
There you go.
It'll freeze for a couple of months without any problem. And then you do have something come up on the spur of the moment, or you have guests come over or something, you've got a dish that you can serve and it'll be good.
So yeah, the next time you guys are at Prayer Mountain, you might get to sample some of this, because we do this every Wednesday. And Elaine is we're so blessed to have her.
Thank you. I'm the one that's blessed. The Lord has blessed me abundantly out here. It's just like my little piece of heaven. The Holy Spirit and I get in the kitchen and there's no telling what we're going to cook.
That's it. You know, God can get involved in cooking, can he?
Oh, yes, sir. Some of the best dishes I ever made, the Holy Spirit's put together, and I'll wake up and not even know what I cooked.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
But anyway, we encourage you guys, maybe you haven't cooked and you'd like to start. Well, here's a simple one you can start with.
Yeah.
And you can be the hero of the next meal.
Yeah. Maybe even of the neighborhood.
Right.
Okay.
So anyway, that's kind of neat.
All I'm going to do now is just put foil on it, and the steam will keep in and keep it from getting dried out, and cook your rice.
And she said she put about 2 cups in there, and she didn't drain the moisture out of the tomatoes so that she could cook the rice.
Sometimes if I have a lot going on and I don't use as many tomatoes, or I use cut up tomatoes and I don't have the juice, I will add some some beef broth. And you can, any brand, just get beef broth and pour in maybe a box. This is 3 pounds, so I probably wouldn't put this in unless you were cooking a lot like I do.
Okay.
But for a family, just a regular 1 pound box, and that gives you the extra moisture to keep everything cooking. So it comes out good like that.
Oh,
It's
that's
just getting hot now, so it's just starting. We just had them on for a short time, so it's just now getting good and warm. The pan's not even too hot to touch. So.
And if you put cheese on those, I've seen those with cheese on them. When would you do that?
I would do it at the last so that it melts on top and it doesn't get burned.
Okay, so at the very last.
And I do have cheese to put on.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, we'll check back later.
Okay,
All right.
have a great day.
Okay.
Come see us.
All right, bye.